What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. Another pretty epic day. There's about 6 minutes left in the trading day, but I want to go over some of the current data points and just things that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So right now it is up 7.4%, pulling back slightly during power hour. Last minute jitters associated to tomorrow, but all in all, pretty good day if you ask me. Did have a high so far of $3.97, low of $3.53. And a good amount of volume as well. So 58.6 million shares being traded, 40.04 is the average. A lot of transactions occurring on the secondary market, showing institutions are paying a little bit more attention to Lucid, especially this is night and day difference. Normally Lucid only gets around between 3 to 5 transactions a day. So this is completely blowing it out of the water, same as even yesterday, and a lot of big ones as well. Even more so on the dark pool, so a lot of big transactions occurring there as well. So big money is paying attention to Lucid, whether they are acting on some information that the public is not privy to, maybe gravity reservations or something along those lines. It's anyone's guess, but at the same time, you are seeing shorts returning a small amount, so 458 or 459,000 shares. Yesterday, they returned, I think it was around 3 million shares, if I remember correctly. So they are starting to break the trend, and clearly goes to show that they are overextended, as I brought up. But 27.8% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 249.42 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 96.57. And then short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is 87.24. So what really happened today? You did have initial jobless claims coming out, came in line with expectations of 232. So that did equate to, in my opinion, based on the rate cuts, a little bit more optimism. And so as you can kind of see right here, there is a 75.5% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut occurring for the September 18th meeting. And that is followed by a potential 50 basis point cut for the November. So it kind of moved back one meeting. So instead of a 50 basis point cut for the September 18th, now it seems to be pointing to a November 7th. But all in all, though, roughly around 75 basis points, just the two meetings together. So I think in general, that is very good. Some growth stocks are kind of reacting positively, some aren't. You do see recently as well what was said today by, I believe, a couple more analysts, that there will be roughly around between 4 to 6 rate cuts between now and March of 2025. But then again, we kind of heard that at the beginning of 2024 that there was going to be 6, and turns out there might be 2. So we'll just have to wait and see what does truly happen, but there was no actual news today associated to Lucid, no SEC filings, nothing really posted on social media for Lucid. So you can kind of see just what people are talking about, even Lucid's actual Twitter. Nothing really crazy. This was posted 1 hour ago, but still no reason to actually buy Lucid based on this. One thing that when I did my video yesterday that I didn't really bring up was this right here. So the fact that Ford is switching up their EV plans. So it kind of goes to show that the EV market is very, very difficult. And so I think that's even more of a reason why, even Peter mentioned this in the last earnings, why a lot of OEMs should be using Lucid's technology. So I think this, like Ford, GM, a lot of others struggling, I think they might revert to and see Lucid, their technology, as kind of the easy in to get in the EV sector. So I think there will be a lot more partnerships, might not be in 2024, but possibly 2025. And that would really stand to benefit Lucid. But in reality, they are canceling their 3-row electric SUV, Ford is, so that really helped Lucid as well propel higher. So I think the Gravity definitely is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and as what Peter mentioned in the interview yesterday, he did say that it's going to make up, I think he said, like a good chunk of ultimately their future revenue. And so they have a lot of money hedged and waiting for the Gravity. So I think there's just a lot of good things coming down the pipeline for Lucid. Shorts generally know that. This is why they have been returning quite a lot, despite there being a lot of available shares. So right now there's around 3.9 million shares available to be shorted. So if they really did feel Lucid was not appropriately valued, they can easily just double down and cause it to go kind of try to suppress it. So once again, that's just how I like to interpret this. Looking at options, so the market's kind of 1 minute left in the market, but 2.68 million in calls, 1.13 million in puts. 50% of all the options being done so far today are optimistic and bullish. And of the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be above $4 this week and above $4.50/$5 next week. And conveniently, this is actually what the Elliott Wave technicals are pointing to. So Elliott Wave technicals are pointing for Lucid to get between that 480 and 520 range in the short term. So I think a lot of that has to do with its technicals, and in Lucid's case, it is right now above that 50-day moving average. And generally, we already know what happens when Lucid is able to successfully stay above that. So hopefully we'll be seeing a test of $4 tomorrow. So the market just closed, and it did close at roughly $3.87. So hopefully tomorrow it'll have enough to really push higher above that $4 range. And again, hopefully Powell doesn't come out and really mess everything up. If anything, hopefully he comes out and just reconfirms what the market wants to hear about rate cuts for the September 18th meeting and even the following November 7th. So definitely something to watch for. Right now with it closing at $3.87, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. This is why you're seeing a lot of volatility as well over this last several trading days, because the fib levels are very wide. So 348 is a very strong support. Flip side, $4.14 should be that next strong target / resistance. So with tomorrow being Friday, just looking at the open interest, you do see around 8,000 at that $4 strike price. So if Lucid is kind of flirting with that $4 mark, you might see shorts increase slightly just to suppress it below $4, but again, anything could happen. On the actual chart itself, to quickly go over here, so it is higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, stochastic, you do see it at 71. So again, as I brought up, if it does continue on this trend, it will be considered rather overbought. So the first sign of weakness associated to Lucid or just the broader market, you will see a kind of a significant pullback, a lot of volatility similar to what happened here. So just anticipate a lot of volatility. Keep in mind over this last 5 days though, it is up 22.98%. So Lucid is finally showing that it is alive, and I think the market absolutely loves that, and you can tell that based on the volume. Number of retail investors are absolutely loving Lucid as well. You can kind of see that they've been getting in ever since around the 5th. So I think all in all, bigger things are coming for Lucid. It will just ultimately come down to interest rates and momentum associated to that. So Powell's on the chopping block tomorrow, so we'll just have to wait and see what comes from that. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up, give yourself a shout out. Did you buy? Did you sell? What have you been doing with Lucid? And what is your thoughts on shorts? So a lot of people are starting to say that Lucid is going to have a short squeeze, which based on everything, brokers are considering Lucid a kind of a volatile stock, a risky play. So any entity that is shorting Lucid, you do need a lot of margin behind the scenes. So the fact that Lucid has gone up, like I said, 22%, that does mean that their margin requirements are fairly getting tight, right? So essentially, if Lucid does continue this good momentum, all in all, you might see shorts kind of, not a mother of all short squeezes, but not here to say that Lucid is going to go to like $1,000. That's crazy, but you could see shorts just naturally giving up due to the momentum. So that will be interesting to see. Do you think that's possible? And if so, if there was, let's say, a reduction down to 20% short interest, how high do you think that could really push Lucid? So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And make sure you guys definitely take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it. They give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.